Good evening, everybody. This is your boy B Mahari here, represent MehariNation Sports Podcast. Salute to the entire LDBC. Salute to the greater basketball community. We got a special guest here today. The great Curtis Anderson is in the building today. How you doing today, Curtis?
Oh man, I'm doing good under the circumstances, man. Very sad day. My heart is aching, man. A beloved basketball great by the name of Kobe Bryant perished earlier along with his beautiful daughter Gianna. And it's just a sad day, man. It's a surreal feeling, man. Not a real good feeling, man. He's showing love around the world. People are mourning him in different ways, and I just been thinking about all his great games at the Garden and that dunk against the Phoenix Sun when he split the defenders and dunked sideways. People don't talk about that dunk. That was an excellent play, man. His athleticism, but it was his killer instinct, man. Next to Michael, he patterned his game to Michael Jordan, who released a statement saying he was like a little brother to me, and that's a perfect way to describe Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan, man. But
Yep.
Kobe Bryant was a great player, man. Great player.
It's a very sad day for everybody in sports, though. You know, if you didn't see the Raptors and the Spurs game, when the news broke out, they both teams ran the clock down, the shot clock down, which is at 24, which is the same number that Kobe Bryant wore, and they both ran the clock down on both ends to pay tribute to the trade their respects. I just watched Doc Rivers, intake the news, and he couldn't even get his words out. I mean, it's so sad because we were about to witness his post basketball career. He had all great ideas. He was going to be a movie producer, businessman. I mean, this guy, he was far above everybody else above on his post basketball career. It's a really, really tragic deal. But I wanted to personally ask you too, though, what were some early memories of Kobe Bryant that you can remember of?
Oh man, I remember Kobe going back to Lower Marion High School in Pennsylvania. This guy was doing 360 dunks and reverse dunks like it was nothing. Because I
Hmm.
remember his father. I remember Kobe as a kid. He's always be with his father. I mean, we didn't know he was going to turn out like this. But I remember Jelly Bean Bryant for the 76ers and the old San Diego Clippers, along with Randy Smith, outstanding guard. But I start hearing about this guy. I said, "Oh, that's Jelly Bean Bryant's son." And after his spectacular stint with the high school, he came to the pros. I remember the air balls he put up against Utah. It was a learning experience, man, and he just took off from there, man. So mentally strong, five-time NBA champion, two-time NBA Finals MVP, 18-time All-Star, 2008 NBA MVP. It's just, the accolades just goes on and on. One of the greatest two-way players, that you will ever see, man. And the All Star game at Madison Square Garden, the 360, the lob. Everybody is wearing his jersey, man. It's just heartbreaking. His daughter, and the other people who perished along, with Kobe in a helicopter. We don't want to forget about them. But
Exactly.
Kobe, he was just he will never be forgotten. He's one of those transcending players, that comes along once in a lifetime, man. I've seen Kobe do some freakish athletic stuff, dunking
Hmm.
on people, driving baseline. Like I mentioned, the dunk in Phoenix, one of my favorites, man.
Woo.
It's just so many. I mean, so many highlights, man. This guy was a human highlight film. That's Dominique's name, but Kobe deserves it as well, man. He, the Black Mamba because of his killer instinct. The only one who had killer instinct probably above him was Jordan.
Yep.
Kobe lost what, two finals, Detroit and
Detroit and
Boston.
Boston. Yep. Detroit
Right,
and
right.
Boston.
And he won five, so that's a great record. I mean, Brady lost three, but nevertheless, they both winners, man. And Kobe deserves all the accolades, man. But I feel so sorry for his wife, and this her daughters, man. They lost a sister, and she
Yep.
and a husband and a father, man. It's just you just never know when your life can end, man. You can have all the money in the world, all the prestige in the world, but the fate or whatever you want to call it, that doesn't matter because you can perish at any time, man. You can die at any time and anything. So, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Yep, absolutely. Now I'm gonna share the screen right here on Twitter right now. Let me check this out real quick. Okay, share the screen there. Okay, okay, there we go. Okay, so as you guys can see the screen right here, do you see it?
It didn't come in yet. My
Okay,
internet acting funny after 50 gigabytes. I hate T-Mobile. Um,
that's a
my every ninth it's gonna come in. Just gotta wait a while. Every
that's a
ninth my cycles start, and
yeah.
I'm on the internet so much my gigabytes act funny after 50 gigabytes.
Yeah, yeah. So these are some of the statements that kind of Magic Johnson made on Twitter
I
after
see it. You there?
Yep, I see it. This is the first initial one there too, but this is the extra ones he did after that. Here's he said, "My friend, a legend, a husband, father, son, brother, Oscar-winning greatest Laker of all time is gone. It's hard to accept. Kobe was a leader of our game and a mentor to both male and female players." And then my favorite one so far is this picture right here when Kobe was a rookie. Right here, he said he gave his knowledge, time, and talent to tutor so many at the youth level, collegiate level, and NBA and WNBA players. Words can't express the impact that he had on the game of basketball. I know basketball fans all over the world will miss him, especially in the city of Los Angeles. Yeah, man. I mean, you look right here. He Magic had a huge influence on Kobe's life, and yeah, it's really sad, no man, because when you look at all the memories that uh Kobe made throughout his whole career, you recognize how great of a player he was. You understand, and I think Curtis Anderson just stepped out a little bit there too, but I'll just keep on going while we continue. So the one thing that we can always treasure, you know, about his legacy to the game is that Kobe pursued excellence better than any other player I've ever seen. He worked his tail off. He committed himself to being the best player that he can be, and everything else in between. And so, at this moment right now, though, guys, we should always pay homage to a guy that really put his heart and soul to the game every single time. And because the reason is that because he was the kind of player that pushed you to be at your best. He was the kind of player that kind of pushed you to be greater, to be greater than beyond your abilities. When you were able and then when you were able to play with Kobe Bryant, you knew that he was going to test you and he was going to push you to see if you're going to commit to yourself to the long-term goal of excellence like he always does every single day. And that's the kind of work ethic that a lot of kids today need to treasure and need to comprehend and understand to try to be at their best. You understand me? You know, the sad part is that, a lot of these kids today won't have a true understanding of how much work Kobe put in to be a great basketball player. And not just being a great basketball player, but being a very smart, intelligent African American man. I mean, this was a guy that was going to pursue all sorts of different things outside of basketball. Teaching the youth how to pursue excellence and greatness, beyond their sports too. Being a producer, being a film, being a filmmaker, a businessman. This guy was going to enjoy his post playing career, and now that he's gone, it's like you can't even put it into words how much it hurts everybody. You understand? What's going on? Stay ready. What's going on? Boxing and barbecue. Yeah, CHH Combat Sports. I'm gonna call you later on tonight on your show. All right, my man. If you want to come on too, just go ahead and just push in your email address though too, and you can chop it up. Okay. It's okay, Curtis. Just take your time, my brother. No rush. No rush. You know, the one thing that you know, people need to understand is that the Kobe Bryant was a kind of person that people doubted when he first came to the NBA. This this guy had all sorts of creative athletic ability, but people didn't know the kind of dog, the kind of inner drive that he put himself in to be the absolute best. Okay, and credit is due to Jerry West. Jerry West was the first GM to recognize that kind of talent. That is why he's the greatest executive in NBA history. Okay, this is the kind of guy that saw a little 17-year-old kid with all this skill, with all this bravado, with all this confidence, and he was the kind of player that he it was the kind of player that you just couldn't pass up. But nobody knew how talented this guy was until draft night, when Jerry West basically engineered probably the greatest steal in NBA draft history. You understand me? That '96 draft was perhaps the greatest collection of talent, probably the deepest, greatest collection of talent you'll ever see. That '96 draft, when you had Hall of Famers like Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, and Kobe himself, and also you got Peja Stojakovic, Jermaine O'Neal, who are all stars, and Steve Nash is going to go into the Hall of Fame too. Okay, and for Jerry West to recognize that right away, you understand, and basically pull off the biggest steal of the draft, trading Vlade Divac to Solid for Kobe Bryant, is perhaps the greatest steal in NBA draft history. Plus, you also have to consider the fact that he also pulled off another huge free agent signing deal when he signed Shaquille O'Neal. And those two players together proved to be the 1-2 punch that dominated the early 2000s. I remember the comeback against the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 7 of the 2000 Western Conference Finals. Okay? The Blazers, people forget, the Blazers with Scottie Pippen, Rasheed Wallace, Steve Smith, Arvydas Sabonis, David Stoudemire, Bonzi Wells, Brian Grant, Jermaine O'Neal. That was the deepest team you'll ever see. And they came back from a 3-1 deficit to force a Game 7. They were up by 16, heading into the fourth quarter, ready to close out Shaq and Kobe and the Lakers. And they engineered the greatest fourth quarter comeback in NBA playoff history, which also signified the signature alley-oop lob pass to Shaquille O'Neal in the final seconds that put them on the pedestal to a championship. Then you fast forward to the 2000 NBA Finals, when Kobe Bryant basically took over the game in the overtime after Shaquille O'Neal fouled out. Because remember, Kobe sprained his ankle in Game 2 of that series because Jalen Rose stuck his foot out and intentionally hurt Kobe Bryant. He had to miss Game 3 due to the injury. But then in Game 4, after Kobe basically had to shake off the rust of the ankle injury, he proceeded to take over the game. And from that point forward, everybody around the league and around the world recognized who Kobe Bryant was. And that was the beginning of the Black Mamba era. You understand? And I'm not going to get into all the other, stupid details about, Kobe's off the court issues, because it's unrelevant here. And I'm not going to bring this up. And if anyone in this chat brings it up there, you will be blocked on site. You understand? Now, the one thing that really, really is disappointing for me is that, if Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal would have been a collective force off the court as they were on the court, they would have won at least 5 or 6 championships. Nobody could have stopped them. Okay, that 1-2 punch combined with Derek Fisher, Robert Ory, Rick Fox, okay, and Brian Shaw, those sharpshooters, you couldn't do nothing about it. All right, for 3 straight years, the Lakers ruled the NBA with an iron fist, and it was off the backs of Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. But after Shaq got traded, Kobe went through the post-championship years. His patience was very, very tested during that time. He had to play with some scrub players like Kwame Brown, Smush Parker, Chris Mim. Y'all know this, okay? And then he still went in there and dropped 81 points against the Toronto Raptors. Still one of the all-time greatest scoring performances in NBA history. Nobody could ever duplicate that. Then after that, Kobe in the late 2010s, you understand, he went on to win 2 more championships, in the post Shaquille O'Neal era. You know what I mean? And he validated his legacy as as the greatest player in NBA history. And the sad part was that he was embracing LeBron James for passing him on the all-time scoring list. Now LeBron James is now third on the all-time scoring list. And the set and really this time was supposed to be about who I would take between Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. But it's not the right time to do that because now that Kobe's gone, it's hard to talk about it now. Everybody around the world is hurting over the loss of Kobe Bryant. It's really a sad state of affairs. You understand? So just go ahead and make a quick text real quick. But the thing is this. The thing is that I think Kobe Bryant is going to be remembered as the most complete player you'll ever see. You understand? And the fact is that everybody is going to remember Kobe Bryant as the most complete, greatest two-way player you'll ever see. The guy competed at both ends of the floor, and he competed with a tenacity and an intensity that can never ever be matched. Okay, here we go. All right. So, you know, the one thing that I could take away from this whole tragedy today is that, you know, embrace the people that you love. Embrace everybody. Embrace all your loved ones. You understand? And embrace life because you never know when life is going to end just like that. Do you understand? And I'm very sad about how people have taken the opportunity to basically, kind of just taking their chances to, proceed to bash on Kobe Bryant because of the whole Colorado incident or anything else like that. Because all you're doing is just you're doing no services to yourself. Okay, so I don't want to talk about that, or we're not going to get into that. Okay, I remember talking about Kobe Bryant with my mom because my mom's Eritrean. She knew kind of some basketball, but not too much until I was still when I was starting to play actively when I was a kid. I remember that on that February of 1998 when Kobe Bryant made his first All Star appearance, and me and my mom was just in awe of this guy in purple. He said, "Who is this guy in purple?" My mom did, and I learned what his name was, and I learned it's Kobe Bryant. And Kobe did amazing moves. He had the 360 dunk. He had the alley oop pass from KG to Kobe, and then he did the behind the back move, the fake behind the back move over to Kime Mutombo with the hook shot. I mean, this guy put on a show. He had 16 points on 7 to 16 shooting throughout that whole game. And the best part was is that from that point forward, people knew who Kobe Bryant was. And when MJ retired, Kobe Bryant, was going to take himself, was basically the new heir apparent to Michael Jordan. And it took it a couple of years to get to that point. He had to go through a lot of growing pains and obviously through the championships there too. He accepted a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. But there's no denying the fact that Kobe Bryant, his legacy, his impact on the game will never ever be forgotten. And as we go through the whole day remembering Kobe Bryant, the best way we could do for ourselves is we can all celebrate the legacy that he left behind for all of us. You understand? I saw a ticket, breaking down, and just sobbing, crying. I mean, I never seen ticket, feel this way. I mean, I was just in shock. I couldn't believe it because because I was just in the middle watching a college basketball game, minding my business, getting ready for the live streams tonight, and then all of a sudden, bam! I found out through TMZ and then through Ticket as well that Kobe Bryant, was killed in that helicopter crash, and it's unfortunate and it's very sad that his daughter also died there too, and there were other 9 other people that also died in the helicopter crash. We're still waiting word about who these people are. So we don't know the full details of the other victims that died in that helicopter crash as well. So I'll make sure to keep an eye on that and give you guys more details, as the story, progresses. But I was watching ESPN, I was watching Fox Sports. I mean, I was watching, going around Twitter. I mean, everybody, it just went in on, just was just in shock about what happened. Even Stephen A. Smith, not the most popular guy in media, he was literally in tears because even he covered Kobe and had his meetings with him too. You know, it's really, really a sad day. I've been all day talking with people, trying to, gather my thoughts about what has happened here today. And at the end of the day, we should all be thankful for the memories that Kobe Bryant made for all of us to remember. And when we grow old and when our children ask us who was Kobe Bryant, we're gonna pass down the stories of all the great moments and all the memories that Kobe Bryant, provided for all of us. You understand? Yeah. JJ Brown said, damn, so tragic, very heartbreaking. I agree, JJ Brown. I definitely agree. It's very, very sad because, we were just ready to see what his post basketball career was, and now it's been taken away. It kind of feels like what happened to Nipsey Hussle when he died too. Because when Nipsey Hussle died last year, um, everybody in the Eritrean community was grieving for weeks. I mean, it's just it felt like somebody that took away a good brother from all of us. You understand? That it felt like somebody killed our own brother. And it's kind of a different situation though, but I'm just reflecting about how those kind of for relates. you know when when Kobe died, everybody just lost this, just completely just couldn't believe what has happened. I It's been a very, very sad day for people. And the worst part and the best part and the worst part is that you know I was just leaving the basketball gym, just minding my business, gonna go through another great day and planning on, talking about LeBron James, surpassing Kobe. And, Kobe handed out this great tweet, that signified who he was. And now, LeBron James coming back from Philadelphia, with tears in his eyes, just couldn't believe what happened to Kobe. And now all we can hope for is that now that this year that everybody in the NBA can pay tribute and respect to one of the greatest players in NBA history. And you know LeBron, he's class personified. He's class personified. And he's a kind of player that you know that will do whatever it takes to win. I'm talking about Kobe, and the same for LeBron too. But salute to LeBron James. Salute to him, for having the courage you know, having the courage to basically give out Kobe his respect and writing down the Black Mamba, signature on his shoes there too. I thought it was really very honorable and very respectful of him to do so. You understand? And at the end of the day, the last thing I wanted to give my thoughts on is this. Kobe, you know, his presence is obviously is gone, but the memories and the lessons that we learned from watching his career will never ever be forgotten. His commitment to excellence, his drive, his inner ability to push himself beyond his greatest capabilities to be the greatest player that he can be. He didn't just want an excellence; he chased after it and held it by the throat and squeezed on it. And there's only a few players in sports that have that kind of drive, that kind of inner, passion to get where they want to be in life. And Kobe is one of them, including Michael Jordan as well. And so, as we end this day today, you know, it's very, very important to live your life and to cherish your loved ones because life's just too fucking short. That's right, Boxing Barbecue. Boxing Barbecue said it best. He said, that's why it's important to live your life and cherish the ones around you. You're not guaranteed to wake up or could it be your last sunrise? Well said, brother. Well said. That's the most important thing that people need to recognize and understand. And I am too going to live my life the same way too, because you never know when your life's going to end. Because life is a freakish phenomenon. You just never know when life ends in a heartbeat. And as we end today, dealing with the loss of a legend, you know, let us not forget not not just the basketball skills alone, but the lessons that he instilled in all of us, and also his commitment to being the very, very best will forever be ingrained in our heads and in our hearts as we move on from the life of Kobe Bryant. So, for everybody in the LDBC and for everybody like myself, we thank you, Kobe, and we thank you for all the memories you have built throughout your journey through basketball. You understand? And I want to thank you, Kobe, for making a difference in my basketball life. For everybody in Special Olympics, because I've basically been reached out by many people in the Special Olympic community. How I felt about this. You know, is a very, very tragic thing. But the most important thing that we have to keep reminding ourselves is that we we work on our greatest weakness to make it our greatest strengths. And certainly Kobe Bryant's legacy and his basketball work is a greatest illustration of that. And the one thing that we always can take away from it is that Kobe Bryant lived his life to the fullest, and he was rewarded by the work that he put in on the basketball court and the mentorship that he gained from great legends like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan made him the Hall of Famer that he is now. And the sad part is we won't be able to hear him speak on his Hall of Fame induction because he won't be able to enjoy his induction to among the greats in the game and hear him speak about his journey, through Italy, through high school, through the early stages of his career, through the Shaq and Kobe years. You understand? Through Paul Gasol and Andrew Bynum those years. You understand? And his post life career and how his legacy and his input will forever be passed down to the next generation. You know what I mean? I will never ever forget the day that Kobe Bryant finally, hanged up his jersey once and for all when he scored the 60 points against the Jazz. And, you know, for him to put on a performance of a lifetime and for everybody to embrace him and love him and saying thank you for all the memories you built is the greatest illustration of how he meant everything, not just in basketball, but in life itself. So as I leave here tonight, just gonna sleep on it and rest on the whole tragic day. One thing I will say to you, Kobe, thank you. Thank you for all the memories. Thank you for your teachings. Thank you for your passion, and thank you for allowing us to follow your career. And I know that when we look back 10 years, 20 years from now, I should say, and even 30 years from now, we're going to be teaching our children, the next generation of basketball players, how to be like Kobe Bryant, how to instill the work ethic, the passion to be the very, very best, so that way they can be great people in our society. Thank you, Kobe Bryant, and rest in peace.